Welcome to the Black Lion Podcast. We are your hosts, Lex and Dom. Today we have a special guest. Guest, can you please introduce yourself?
How you doing, everybody? My name is Ray Pitts, owner of Divine Creations Unisex Salon, and also Galleries Artistic Photography.
So, can you tell the audience about your own business?
Sure. Divine Creations is a full-service unisex salon. We've been catering to the needs of the West Philadelphia community for over. I've been in business since '96. I've been doing hair since '88. So give or take around 24 years being in business and about 30 years doing hair altogether, barbering. And I started out doing barbering first from '88 to like '91. Then I got into women from '91 up until now. So yeah, full service salon, West Philadelphia, 509 South 52nd Street. Um, Family orientated salon, very friendly atmosphere. Um, uh, there's three other stylists that work there with me. And it's just one of those environments that is very welcoming and, very pleasant to be around. We do all types of services, braiding, relaxers, color, like men's cuts, of course, and just general styling. So pretty complete. Only thing we don't do is nails or massage or anything like that.
Is your salon on what's the word I'm looking for? Handicap accessible?
Yes, it is. We have a ramp that you're able to get into, so it's real easy. And also, just side note, my facility is utilized for voting too. It's a polling place also when they have elections. So we're definitely handicap accessible, and it's free parking on my section of 52nd Street. It's not metered, so you can park all day if you like.
So, what made you get into cutting hair and doing hair?
Well, at in high school, like most high school students, you're trying to figure out what you want to do, where you want to go with your life. I could draw, so in my mind, I was going to be a commercial artist. That's what I was going to specialize in or go to college for. Fortunately for me, my stepfather, he owned a barbershop called Paul's Beauty and Barber Salon. It's in West Philadelphia also. And he asked me one day to um, try it out. He gave me a pair of clippers, taught me some things. Um, and ironically, at the time, this is like in 1988, a lot of young guys, I mean, it's kind of like coming back now, but a lot of the guys was wearing designs and stuff in their hair. So me being out of draw, so it kind of not came easy because I still had to learn how to fade and all the other good stuff. But doing the designs and stuff like that, I was smashing it. I was smashing. I was doing really good, really good, and and I just enjoyed it. So I kind of like set my mind on doing hair or doing this. And ironically, I don't know if back in the day, the Civic Center, they had this barber competition, and just on a whim, I entered this barber competition, um, and I did this tri-level box haircut, and I drew Bart Simpson in the back of the guy's head with a cityscape going around his head. And yo, man, I came in first place. I was so excited. And ironically, it was this, I don't know, y'all might, he's still cutting, but there was this other barber. He was like one of the hottest barbers in the city. His name was Lightfoot up in Germantown. And this other guy named James, because he came in second place and Lightfoot came in third, or Lightfoot came in second and James came in third. But I came in first place, and that's all that mattered. But yo, I was on high heaven because you hear about these other barbers being dope, and for me to come in first place, it set a precedence for myself. And at that point, I kid you not, I felt like I peaked, and I said I got to do something else, and that's when I started getting into doing women hair. I mean, I do both, but I never went to school for barbering. My pop taught me. But I did go to school for female, for, cosmetology, learning how to do women hair. And I've just been doing excelling at it ever since. And that's pretty much the story how I got into doing hair. It was by random coincidence. I tend to think that I don't believe in coincidences. I think things happen for a reason or purpose, and certain things are destined for individuals. I'm a man of faith, and so I put my confidence in Christ, and I stand to be directed by His unctioning and this, that, and the other. But and I feel like this was His plan for me to be in this particular field, because I've made a really good living off of doing hair.
Yeah. Can they get their hair done more than guys get their hair cut?
Well, but surprisingly enough, I have dreads in my hair now, but I had a barber that used to work at the salon with me. He's not there no more. He teaches, but I had so it's like sporadic that I get a haircut. So I decided to go, to a salon or another barber to get my haircut. Yo, man, their haircut cost me $35. I was like, what? I was in sticker shock. I didn't know they was charging that much for haircuts. So I was like, yo, that's cool. I mean, you get it how you get it. But it was definitely a sticker shock. So if that's the going rate for haircuts now, that's good. That's real good. That's good, because I guess, with the cost of living and everything that's going on, you got to price yourself accordingly. But yeah, it was definitely a sticker shock for me, just for a fade on the side. So I may have to go up on my prices. I'm still charging $12 for a haircut.
That's what I know. It used to be $10. Like
Yeah.
I used to live at, it was $10. So
Hmm. Yeah. So, but that's the way, times change, and things move. Um, and so you got to make adjustments, especially if you're trying to make hair care a living, and a lot of individuals who think that it's fast money. It's not fast money. Is you have to have a nice skill set, and be able to cater to community, and the needs of individuals. You're going to come across a whole range of different type of individuals, some that are pleasant and some may not be so pleasant, but you have to be able to know how to understand the client and be able to handle the client with care, and then give them what they desire, or a version of it anyway. Yeah.
you had children.
Yes, I have a son and a daughter. My son just recently, 2 weeks ago, just left for the army. So, it's a little silence in the house. I'm married. So, me and my wife, it's crazy how when kids are in the house, but they're in their room, and they're there, and they're doing whatever they're doing, but it just seemed like it's extra quiet now, because his presence, and I walk past his room sometime, and I'm like, dang, my son is, and it's only been 2 weeks. So it's sticker shock right now for my son not being here. My daughter, she's 18, and she's moving forward in her life and trying to figure out the direction she wants to go and things she's looking to do for her life. And I'm just trying to be very encouraging and prayerful, for her purpose. You know,
Did you ever talk to her about joining the family business?
I did, and that's the crazy thing, because my kids don't want no parts of it, and I'm like, I guess it's just going to die with me, or I just have to pass it on to somebody else or whatever. But they have no interest in doing hair, and I think part two, if I see my business, I live in Delaware, so my business is in Philly, and my family's in Delaware, so for them to, I think if I lived in the city, then they would have been shop children. They would have been in the shop with me, and probably had that hands-on experience, or probably made my daughter be my assistant to a certain level, so she had a certain level of knowledge of being able to do certain things. Um, but nah, they're Delawareans, and they're content with that. So, I mean, I would like to be able to. I mean, I guess it's never too late, but I don't think. Well, my son is going, so my daughter, I don't think she doesn't want no parts of it like that. Not like that anyway. Not to make it a career for herself, which is unfortunate on certain levels, but it's all good.
Well, you can still leave it to her. She just
Yeah,
has
yeah. She's
somebody
just
else.
gotta, yeah, gotta. She can rent it out, and I mean, because I do have a rental over top of it, but yeah, she has yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about the business aspect of it, of doing hair and this, that, and the other. But property, oh yeah, I'll definitely leave that legacy to my kids, you know, and let them do what they need to do with building their wealth from that and giving them the tools to be able to do it.
So, what's your process in like starting off in general, like getting your LLC and things? Well, I don't know. You got an LLC or C corp.
No, I actually I'm a sole prop. I felt it was more advantageous for me because limited liability corporations just means that um, they could tax you differently. You have protections um, from being sued for where it won't be able to affect you personally. However, I think the offset is having a like if you have enough insurance to cover incidentals or things like that, then I don't think it's beneficial for you to have an LLC unless you just want to have an LLC or be called an LLC. But you can still get your own EIN number and still not have to use your social for certain responsibilities. But I just think that having enough insurance and not I rather have insurance and go that route than have to be taxed corporately with the LLC. So that was my mindset at that time. Well, actually, I didn't even think about it at the time because I didn't understand about LLCs or anything of that nature back then. When I started, I just said, "Well, I'm going to be a sole proprietorship." And then as I learned, I said, "Well, I think this is more advantageous for me and my family, my household, to do it this particular way." And it's worked. I've been in business since '96. Um, that's what 25, 26 years, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's been all good. You know. So
So,
it's go ahead. I'm sorry.
so from when you started to 2021, what progress have you seen in your business?
Well, there's been a lot of advancements, and I because I think at that time, when I first started, I think I had a major advantage. One, because I'm a male, straight male, um, and I had the opportunity to um, have that skill set of being a barber first. So I think and I purpose when I went into cosmetology school, I purposed to excel in haircutting, because I always felt that you could have, the best cut in the world. And like when your hair falls or, it's not curled any longer, if you got a right cut in your hair, it's always going to be flawless. And I always said that I wanted to focus on cutting. So a lot of my styles are a lot of short styles. I could do everything. Only thing I don't know how to do is braid. I mean, yeah, braiding styles. I can cornrow, um, but I focused in on that and focused in on coloring. So a lot of my styles are short. I have a lot of color stuff, but with the and not the invention, but the advent of weaves coming on the set, you just got to stay current. And I'm a student. I'm always going to be a student. So you're always learning um, and seeing how trends go. Um, the scripture is so true where it says there's nothing new under the sun. Everything comes back around, from waves to curls to certain styles. It all makes its way back. And it's just about the individual and how tenacious you are in wanting your craft and being good at your craft. You know, um, I, part of my well, not pet peeve, but part of what my characteristic is too. I procrastinate a lot, so I'll have great beginnings, and then I kind of get burnt a little bit, and try to refocus. So, like when doing, well, it's this the lace front wigs and weaves and stuff like that. And when it was coming out and it was hitting real hard and popular, and I was like, I ain't gonna mess with that. And part of me was like, all right, I better get into it because I don't want to miss out on that dollar. And so I had a learning curve when everybody was getting it in, and I finally got it, perfected, where I'm doing it well, and I have a nice clientele that comes and gets serviced by me. But I could have did myself um, a solid if I would have did it initially. And even with selling hair, I tried to do that, but I don't know, I just felt like the market was oversaturated, and I was like, I'm not messing around with that. But people still come around saying, yo, you sell bundles, you have this and you have that. And I'm always telling them, no, go to this particular store or go somewhere else. And part of me is like, Ray, make the investment, make the investment. And part of me is like, I don't want it. I don't want the headache. But, everybody takes what they desire. If you're motivated to do something, you're going to do it. And if you're not as motivated, then, it's going to become work. And I have the liberty of doing something that I actually love. So it's not necessarily work in doing hair. The actual aspect of doing hair is not, I mean, it's work, but I enjoy doing it. So it's not work, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But being progressive or seeing the changes that's manifesting itself, um, I mean, it's exciting, but I know that, like I've been in my location, like I said, since I've been in the location I'm in right now since '98, and it's almost like it's a salon on every corner now. So you have to really set your precedent and establish who you are. And because I have longevity, I have a clientele base. I have a nice clientele base from the tri-state area. I have people who come from Jersey. I have people who come as far as Atlanta coming to get their hair done. And not a lot, but I have some people, some transplants or whatever. And I love being able to have a person leave out of my salon pleased, you know, and pleased with not just their service, but with the atmosphere that they've experienced at my salon, Divine Creations. And and I take pride in that. We're typical barbershop type salon too, where every conversation is open. We talk politics, we talk religion, we talk all that type stuff, but we're respectful with it. No matter what your opinion is, we're very respectful, and we're just that type of friendly salon. So that's what's up.
So what are your goals for this year specifically?
Specifically for this year, I want to expand in my retail section, um, and I have these soaps that I got into that I've been selling, and they're doing exceptionally well. Personally, for myself, in business, just being able to take advantage of the opportunities that is being presented by way of grants and empowerment, economic empowerment that's coming along because of COVID, and just the opportunities that has presented itself to me, and enriching my business and my family. So just like I said, expanding in retail, and I did state that I do photography too. So even in a sense of expanding my studio space there, and being able to assess and project in my marketing. Like I'm trying to really get heavy into the IG, Instagram promotion stuff. I have my daughter helping me with that aspect. But I've really started trying to see how to make Instagram Reels work for my business, to make the Instagram Live work for my business, and Facebook and things of that nature. Um, Funny that you even asked that, because now that I think about it, there was this grant that Tapestry, a what is it, AEO, they were offering this grant that they awarded me that included marketing with on online marketing and stuff like that. I think I probably need to check that out. Um, but yeah, so it's just different opportunities and things that I see for myself personally, and like I said, education is always continual, and learning, you know, enhancing my own skill set with more classes, and being able to give back, give back to the community that has blessed me. That's
Yeah.
what I see for 2021 anyway, right now. Yeah. Yep. Yep. And then being a little bit more efficient, um, with um, with business too, because sometimes you get into a pattern and a way of doing certain things, and sometimes that pattern, it gets comfortable, and in your comfortability, it causes you to get lax in some things. And so I definitely want to, be astute and cognizant of what I'm doing in this process, to make sure that my business is flowing the way it needs to flow for future. You know what I mean? Because who knows what, a day may brings, or what 2020 is going to bring. And I know they talking about this new variant of COVID, and not that I'm sweating it, because we definitely take all precautions with the cleaning of our salon and wearing the mask, and we try to social distance as much as we possibly can. But you never know, because I'm dealing with people, I'm dealing with the public. Who knows where this person or that person's been, or who they've been around. So you just always got to take the necessary precautions to protect my family and my salon family. Hmm.
So your wife helped you out with your business too, or no?
No, she, once I made this move out to Delaware, like she used to come to the salon all the time when we were in Philly. But once we make that move, it's 45 minutes. So she not riding up like that. But she has helped me with bookkeeping, in that aspect. She has done that, but she's in school. So, and she has her own career path that she's focusing in on right now. So that's really grabbing all of her attention. And plus she's a caregiver for her mom. Her mom had Alzheimer's, and just recently passed. So that's a whole another story of just caring for somebody for 6 years, and seeing them deteriorate the way she did. Sometimes some people just need a rest in their own thinking and not have to do things. So she's just really taking time to focus on herself right now, um, and seeing what her future is going to be. So
That's
yeah.
good.
Hmm.
How could the audience find you?
Well, yeah, there goes into that marketing thing. You can definitely Google me. You can Google Divine Creations Unisex Salon. I'm right there, 509 South 52nd Street, West Philadelphia, born and raised. Um, I've stayed in the community since I started. It's funny because when I started, I was at 623 South 52nd Street. That was Paul's. Then I moved up to 58th and Market, which is a Unique Appeal Hair Salon. And then I opened up my own, Divine Creations, in 96. So I've stayed in the West Philadelphia corridor since I've been. And I think that's part of what has my longevity too, is that I've been around and I've been seen and noticed. So yeah.
You didn't just come out the woodwork.
Yeah, I didn't just come out the woodwork. Nope. Yeah, I've been doing this thing. I said to some of my clients, I said I've been doing this since you was knee high to a grasshopper. But yeah, but like I said, man, is definitely present. It's funny because I was telling my daughter this morning that, and helping her discern or decide on, what she's trying to do for her life. But, when you can find something that you truly enjoy doing, and it's pleasurable and you can make a living from it, then by all means, man, pursue it, pursue it. One of my mantras that I tell a lot of people, even I have it listed on my Facebook. I said, life is a series of decisions, and you have to make that decision that's in line, that what the Lord has set up for you, and you follow that path. You follow that path, but you have to make those decisions, and you have to stand by what your convictions are, and stand by what you believe that, your purpose to do. And if you do those things, whether it be, I ain't gonna say right or wrong because you don't want a purpose to do nothing stupid, but within yourself, what where you're aligning yourself to, what you're aligning yourself to do. So whether it be hair, whether it be doing a podcast or multimedia or anything, you want to just always do things with excellence. You know what I mean? Because it's your reality and your truth, and you want to present the very best at what you do. So when people see it, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's some good quality stuff you got going on right there." You know, and that's what I want to project. That's what I want to portray daily.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think everybody should strive to do that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But everybody doesn't, bro. You'd be surprised. Everybody doesn't. We, like as I stated, people think about being in hair, thinking it's a money thing. It's fast money, and it's not. Because if you garbage at doing hair, you may get that person the first time, but they're not coming back, and your reputation is everything. You know what I mean? If people say, "Oh, you can't do hair," or "You're not good at doing hair," and you're not making strides to learn and to grow, then you're going to get burnt out by it. And this industry, it could tear you up if you don't have some type of niche. It could really tear you up, and that just leads to the other aspect of having multiple streams of income. You have to have you got to expand yourself. And it's funny how I even got into doing photography, with galleries, artistic photography. I was on a cruise and I was taking pictures of the sunset, and skylines and birds and insects and stuff like that. And I was showing one of my clients, and my client said, "Yo, can I purchase this?" I was like, "You think it's that good?" She said, "Yeah." So I I immediately went, printed that joint out, framed it up, and sold it to her for $75. So I started going through all my pictures that I took, and I was setting them up around my salon, and people were buying them. I was like, "Yo, that's what's up." So I said, "Yo, I might as well start doing photography." And I started getting into photography, and I started taking pictures of hair, and well, I started out doing landscape photography, and then I got into doing people, and then I started doing weddings and events and stuff like that. And I have a certified, full-fledged photography business now. And it's not a hobby. It's a business, And so, having that stream now, it's not as lucrative as me doing hair, but it puts that no accountability money in my pocket. You know what I mean? You got the shop money is for house and family and bills and this and the other. Photography monies, that's for my own little personal pleasures, and doing the things that I want to do, or investing in the things that I want to invest in. That walk around monies. So that's what I enjoy photography as much as I do, hair, and my Instagram page for photography is Galleries, GALLARAYS _photos PHOTOZ. And you can find my work and stuff there. And I'm pretty dope at it too. And I'm self-taught photographer. Not bragging or pat myself on the back, but I am, because I think I'm that good. But but it lends to the idea. I have a couple of some rental properties that I do too. So it's about securing my family. You know what I mean, and making sure that the lifestyle that I've built or built for them, they could maintain. Um, and one other thing too, I employ everybody to, get life insurance. You know what I mean? Have that as part of your arsenal for your family, because it doesn't make sense for people to have expensive cars and this, that, and the other, and don't have any type of insurance to, God forbid, something happen and you die unexpectedly, and and other people got to try to create a fish fry to bury you. I think that doesn't make sense to me. So
They make it
make sure.
harder to get life insurance now, though.
Yeah, well, you could get a term policy, bro.
Yeah,
It ain't that expensive. I ain't saying you gotta have you trying to take care of the family for generations, but you know, you could get enough to bury. They got end of life policies. They got little $10,000, $20,000 policies. Ain't nothing but $15, $16 a month. You know, that's we we spend that on chicken wings and French fries at the Chinese food store. You know what
right.
I mean? So you can make that. They can make that investment on that level. You know what I mean? It ain't that deep. Not for that anyway. Nah, nah, it ain't that deep for that. But yeah, so I just think that's proper and it's important because I mean, I'm looking at society and I'm looking at where things are at right now, and the way things are going. Um, just in West Philadelphia, man, so much murder, death, kill, and and it's senseless. It's senseless, man, and it's sickening. It's sickening, that individuals are this careless with life, and there's no regards for it. And it seems like it's getting younger and younger. It seems like it's getting younger and younger, and and it's telling. It's telling about the black family. It's telling about um, just us as men and how we affecting individuals in our community if we're even doing that. I Somebody had asked me some time ago, what have I done? And we was having this conversation, and I told him, I said, I feel as though I'm being an example. I'm in my community, I'm working, I'm creating a service, and I feel as though I'm an example of not success, because everybody measures success differently, but just showing that, there's opportunities. A matter of fact, 1 mile on from in between Larchwood and Hazel Avenue, I'm sitting right next to the store Bannon Peru, black owned, brother. It's another Love Thyself clothing boutique, like 2 doors down from me, and then it's Hype Bay Hair Salon. It's right across the street from me. So it's a little congregation of black owned businesses right there, that people should be able to see and say, yo, these cats is kind of doing something. So, it's an example. I tend to try to be by an example, you know?
I just wish everybody stop stereotyping black owned businesses and things like
Yeah.
that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
about customer service and things of that sort.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of it is warranted, no doubt, because some people who can be real shady when, especially contractors and stuff like that, who do some shady work, or your prices is astronomical, just because. I mean, your worth is what your worth is. I do believe that you pay what your worth is. So if like the Weave Bar is right across the street from me, and it's funny because people, whether they don't, they charge $50 for their weaves, and I'm charging like 125, and they'll come across the street. Well, when they can't get their appointment over there, they'll come see me, and they trying to negotiate the weave bar prices for me. I'm like, sis, you need to go back across the street because my price is what my price is, and they have an attitude. And that's what I don't understand. Like, listen, you want to pay $50, then you have to go deal with that salon that's charging $50. But no, you're not going to be mad at me because my prices is what my prices are. You either going to accept them or you're not. And that's just. But I find it funny that people even have that type of mentality to even think that I'm supposed to charge this because they're charging that. I personally, I think And it's not a knock against the weave bar because they have their niche and what they do, but I think they kind of devalue the weaving services by making them so cheap. Just like the Asian barbers charging $5 for haircuts.
Mm.
Yo, Divine, I kid you not.
They've been doing that for years.
Yeah, and listen, and let me tell you the mentality. Before the salon Hype Bay was there, it was this Chinese barbershop called Saigon Shears that was right across the street from me. And I pulled up to my salon, and it was these three brothers standing out there waiting. And so me being the solicitor that I am, I'm like, yo, listen, I got a station open. You want to come get a cut? He was like, well, what you charging? I said $12. He said, well, it's $5 right here. And I was like, bruh, they Asian barbers. Not a knock against Asian barbers, Asian barber. But I'm just saying, bruh, support your own. It's $7 difference. And you're gonna get, and I'm gonna look out for you. I'm gonna make sure you're right. But he was so adamant about, yo, it's $5. I was like, yo, all right, it is what it is. But that just stuck with me, man. I was like, yo, you can't support a black business. You're gonna, they're already getting everything from us. They supply the beauty supplies. They have the hair cares. They got all of the beauty supply stores. Um, they feed us with the Chinese food stores. They give us alcohol through all the delis and stuff like that. You can't even support a black business with a haircut. You gotta give it to them too. So, yeah, it's the mentality, bro, man. Sometimes I call ourselves the forever consumers because
Our
we don't,
mindset.
yeah, our mindset doesn't see clear, and it's not all of us. I know it's not all of us because, you know, but it gets a little frustrating sometimes.
You probably know him, but his name Dr. Claude Anderson.
Yeah, I've heard of him. Hmm.
He said that in every other community, their money bounce at least 12 times before it leave their community.
Yeah, and ours is in there like a half a second before it leaves our community, which is sad. Which is sad. So we'll never be able to do a boycott. We'll never be able to do things of that nature because they got us lock, stock, and barrel. They got us lock, stock, and barrel. And we constantly support them. We constantly support them. But let me go try to open up a barbershop down Chinatown. It ain't happening. And if it did happen, they ain't supporting it. They're not coming to me to get no haircut. So, but that's the other thing too. In the area, which I really, really want to try to formulate a plan. So you say what my progress for 2021 is also, because there's a lot of gentrification going on. It's a lot of Caucasians in my area now, and I want to be able to capture their dollars too. You know what I mean? So hair is hair, but I want to be able to attract them to come in. And right now, it's scarce. I may have one or two persons every 2 or 3 months, to just buy, they need an emergency haircut or emergency something, and they just need to come in. So, and I do it like that, but I really want to be aggressive towards trying to get that white dollar because they're there. They're in our community. They're opening up little um, coffee shops and stuff like that, and we supporting them. Yo, I want them to support me too. And I want to be able to capture that dollar. So yeah, that's part of my plan for 2021 too, is to really try to get that white dollar.
Yeah,
You know?
money don't discriminate. So
No, it doesn't. Not at all.
the, the last question is for anyone that's just starting or wanting to start a business, what advice do you have for them?
Well, one is to have a plan. You know, many are the plans of a man's heart, but it's God's purpose that prevails, bro. You got to have the vision written down. And that's the first aspect of it. The second part of it is to actualize it, to actualize it. It's this book by Dr. Miles Monroe. I think when I first read this book, I felt like everybody in school needed to read this book. And this was back in 1990, 1991. So much so, I wanted to open up a bookstore. And I'll tell you something about that too. But in his book, in the first chapter, it says the richest place in the world is the graveyard because so many people have died with inventions, ideas, and dreams that they never put into action or they never thought about putting into action. And the book is entitled Understanding Your Potential. Um, and that revolutionized my whole thought processes. Um, so much so, I wanted to open up a bookstore. And I kind of did. I opened it up in my salon. And, and I was selling books and stuff out of there too. But getting back to your question, I think that having a plan, writing it down, actualizing it, and then determining what you want to do. And opening up this business, you got to count the costs. Everybody's not going to ride with you, and you can't tell everybody your business. You know what I mean? You have to. Some things you just got to keep close to the heart. Those who you trust, you can bring them in because you're going to need help. You know what I mean? I don't care how independent or how much money or whatever, you're going to need some type of help some way, somewhere or another. And I'll share this with you too. And this is in sharing a thought that I had during the pandemic. And I was applying for these grants and loans and stuff of that nature. They asked me for it's not a profit and loss, but it was called what is it called? On it. But it was a snapshot of your business. It was a snapshot of your business where it stood right then. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name right now, but I did not know what it was. And I've been in business for 20 years, and I didn't know, and it was new to me. It was so foreign to me, and I was calling my accountant like, "Yo, how do I do this?" And I was surprised that I didn't. I thought it was like a profit and loss statement, but it wasn't. Dang, I wanted to know the name of it. I can't think of it. It's escaping me right now. But I was so shocked. So part of it is having the education and understanding, and you have to have the tenacity to go after the things you want. And your drive, man, your drive got to be real. Because if you just shucking and jiving, you're going to procrastinate, and it's going to be sitting by the wayside, and and then years are going to go past. And you see how fast, now that time then jumped up an hour, it's almost 3 o'clock. You know what I mean? The day is going past so fast, you know? So can you imagine, when you procrastinate when you're trying to start a business? So just get all your stuff lined up and in order. Try to, determine what you want to do. And if you already have that down pat, go to those individuals who've done it already and talk to them to make sure, because the more information you got, the better you're going to be able to proceed, because knowledge is power. And, when you have that, then you have that ability, and then do it. Then do it. You know, I'll share this one other story too about how I even got into business. Um, I had my pastor at the time. He shared with me that somebody was going to come and want to invest with me. Um, and lo and behold, it was this guy named Tim Spencer. He used to be the head of the Anti-Graffiti Network in Philadelphia, and he was retiring. And he had asked me if he wanted to. He told me he wanted to invest in me because I was cutting his hair, and I was like, "Bet, I want to open up a shop." And so we get rolling, get rolling, get rolling. I didn't know he was sick, right? And so I done procured this business, this location, put the money down and everything. And yo, this man was on his deathbed, literally. And I'm calling him nervous because I'm trying to sign this lease and I gotta have his money, and he didn't have his portion. I'm up there, I'm tripping, I'm calling him. His family is like, "What are you calling? He's dying." And I'm like, "I need his portion of the money." I need his portion of the money because I'm up here nervous. But the crazy thing is that he was just supposed to be the catalyst. He was just supposed to be the catalyst because I could do it myself. I didn't need him. I did not need it. He was the catalyst to get me to the point of saying like, "Yo, Ray, you can do this. You can do this." And I thought that was just funny how the Lord orchestrated that. That I, I figured out that I didn't need him. I just needed to get over that hump to do the business, and I was able to do it. And here I am, 24 years later. So God be praised.
Cause that is a scary situation.
Yeah, yeah, it was, and I was nervous because they wanted the money, and I wanted to, I'm already deep in doing stuff, and getting the building, buying the equipment, and all this type of stuff. So I couldn't go back up 58th Street, So I had to make it happen, and the Lord made a way. The Lord definitely made a way for me. So that was a blessing. He, like I said, he was just a catalyst for me to be able to realize that, Ray, you don't need him. You could go ahead and you can make this thing happen on your own through your muscle, through your own muscle, and God's grace and providence. So, you know, that's how that played out. So I'm excited. I've been excited. I'm always, looking to grow and to help and to do all things that's necessary that helps my people. You know what I mean? And people in general. My people first, but people. You know. Um, but that's where it's at.
Well, thank you for joining coming to the podcast to be interviewed,
Uh-huh.
sharing your knowledge with us.
Appreciate it, bro. It was my pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity, and for me to even to share and to talk. This is my first time ever doing this type of interview type thing, so I'm excited. Maybe some more jump off later on in life. Who knows? As my business grows or expands or does what it's going to do, there'll be opportunities for me to do more of this.
Yeah, it only take one.
It only takes one. You're right. Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh. Uh, uh,